if you're like me, you like a quick, easy improvement you can do to your rifle to get a little more accuracy and a little more comfortability out of it. And the way I do that on a lot of hunting rifles and basic rifles that aren't too crazy is a trigger upgrade. It's a great upgrade that you can do for cheap, and it doesn't cost you a whole lot. It's not too time consuming. You don't need a gunsmith. You don't need an armorer to do it for you. You can do it with some basic tools, and that's what I'm going to show y'all today. I've got my Howa 1500 here, and it's got the factory trigger in it. We're going to go over the standard factory trigger pull, and then we're going to get down to business with installing this Timney Model 609 trigger. These are actually on a really good deal right now, guys. Head on over to Euro Optic and pick you one up. They're $104.99 plus shipping. Can't beat it. And I'm actually doing this out at my range table just to show y'all how easy this is to do at home with just basic hand tools. You don't need anything crazy. You don't need anything specialty. And I'm doing it outside here on the range, and we're going to do a before and after check and do a little test fire. So let's get down to business and start with, you know, the tools you're going to need. I have my Fix-It Sticks kit, which is a pretty basic gun tool kit. I have, I guess you could call it a specialty bit. It's an extended T30 bit. It helps you get down into the action screws a little better for a better torque. You don't need it, but I prefer it because it doesn't, you know, get the torque adapter to bind on anything. So I've got the basic kit there, and then I also have that extended bit. I have some snap caps that I picked up, and I'm using snap caps just for dry fire to kind of set the trigger pull weight. They do come from Timney set at 3 pounds, but they are adjustable down to 1.5, as well as all the way up to 4 if you prefer a little heavier for a hunting rifle. I like about 2 pounds, that's just me, so we'll go ahead and adjust that. And then I've also got a Wheeler Engineering electronic trigger pull gauge, so we'll be using that to test where we're at with the trigger. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy, nothing out of the ordinary. Let's get down to business, and let's go ahead and get this thing in the gun. So the first thing we're going to do here with the rifle is we're going to check it and make sure it's clear, make sure it's safe. So we're going to open our bolt, stick your finger in there. Okay, nothing in there, we're good. Okay, let's go take a snap cap, and we're going to use the snap cap to dry fire while we check our trigger pull. Safety on. All right, turn our gauge on. We're zeroed out. Safety off, and let's see where we stand. It's reading 2 pounds 8 ounces. Okay, try one more time. Two pounds 13 ounces. £2 12 ounces. So it's got a decent trigger from the factory, but it's not as light as I would like it. I like it about 1.5 pounds ish, a little bit lighter. So we got a baseline on our trigger, and we'll go ahead and add up those numbers, average them out, and see if the Timney is a bit more consistent. Okay, so beginning install of the trigger, we're going to go ahead and open our bolt, catch our snap cap, put that off to the side. We're going to go ahead and remove the bolt. Grab the bolt release on the left side, pull the bolt out of the back. From there, you're going to take your T-handle or whatever you've got, and you're going to use a T30 bit. Okay, actually I'm just going to use the extended one because it's a little easier for me. Reach in the front of the trigger guard here, and you're going to pop this magazine catch down, or the follower for the box magazine down rather. Flip your rifle over, and you're just going to go ahead and break free your action screws. Once you've got those out, you can go ahead and pull your bottom metal out, grab a hold of the receiver and your stock, hold them together, and you should have, mine's been bedded so it's got a little resistance, but you can lift the barreled action right out of the stock, just like that. Take your magazine box off of the action, and then you can take your stock and get it out of the way. Up next, you're going to take a 3mm bit, and you're going to go and remove this screw here that holds your factory trigger in. Shouldn't be too tight, and it should come right out for you. And just like that, you are out. Now, I'm sure you're curious as to what the key differences are between your factory trigger and this new Timney trigger. Well, if you look at the two, this one uses just a regular cap screw. This is your factory Howa trigger. This one is countersunk and a little bit longer because this is a bit thicker. If you look at the two side by side, they're almost identical, but the Timney appears to be just a hair wider on the shoe. Not a huge difference, but just a little bit. The texture looks to be the same. However, the pull weight is adjustable on the Timney. I believe it might be on the factory one, but I'm not 100% sure, being they do have it kind of wax covered. And also, this one has an adjustment for sear engagement. Do not mess with the sear engagement. It has been set from the factory. Leave it alone. According to Timney, you can just adjust your trigger pull with this screw, turning it clockwise for more pound or counterclockwise for less pound. Okay, so let's go ahead and install the Timney. It's ready to go, ready to drop in from the factory. The hole is elongated so that it fits a Weatherby Vanguard or a Howa 1500. I did not see anything about recommendation for putting Loctite on this screw or anything of that sort. It does come with the needed Allen key as well, and you'll just go ahead and spin this in, and that's that. Okay, get it just touching, and then we'll give it just a little snug, and you're installed. Now, something that they do not tell you is that this screw is just a little bit long, but if you torque it to 30 inch-pounds, you will be just fine. Click, click, and good to go. Depending on what stock you have, you may have to get in here and file this down a bit to provide clearance for the safety selector to get into the fire position. If you only feel it click once, not twice, it is a 3-position safety like the factory one. You need to go in there and just file that out a little bit so that it fits. Once I had filed away a little bit of the stock in this area, I was able to make it fit. I had to file just a tiny bit more past this. £2 pounds 11 ounces. £3 pounds 1 ounce. £3 pounds. Right at 2 pounds 15 ounces. So we're right at 3 pounds. So we're going to go ahead and pull the barreled action back out, and we're going to make an adjustment and get it down to about 2 pounds. Adjusting the trigger is fairly easy. You just have to break that nut free, and then you can adjust the little set screw in there counterclockwise. I would go a quarter turn at a time and then tighten up the nut just to be safe. After making some adjustments and then making my final adjustment, I got it down to just past 1.5 pounds, and I was very happy with that. It was very consistent at 1 pound 9 ounces. And now we're ready to go ahead and reassemble. Reinstalling your barreled action into your stock is fairly easy. You're going to go ahead and take your magazine box that's going to go in the barreled action itself in the bottom part there. Just make sure it presses in. And it does spring to hold some tension on it so it doesn't wiggle around and flop around. Just make sure it fits in that little channel. And then you'll go ahead and fit your barreled action back into your stock like so. Flip it over. You're going to go and take your bottom metal now. Make sure the box is seated. Take your bottom metal. Slip it in. You'll feel it pop in real nice and secure. Long screw goes in the back. Shorter screw goes in the front. I like to just get them started. Don't tighten them down completely at first, and then just gradually do the two together. Up next, we're going to take our torque wrench and we're going to go ahead and torque our action screw, starting with the front action screw at 65 inch-pounds. Action screws are torqued, rifle is back together, ready to go. Let's go ahead and test fire.